Mark.
And here we are. We just set it up that as Nathan walks away, we go live. Welcome back to the Can-Am Connection, everybody. How you guys doing? All four of us here today.
I know. It's a rare, dude.
Well, where to begin? Where do you guys want to begin?
Since the two gentlemen on the bottom of this screen were at one place at the same time, let those guys kick it off.
I wasn't there.
What?
I wasn't at the East vs. West Challenger Series.
I thought you were.
No, I watched it. Tim was there.
Well, all right, Tim, there you go.
I was there.
Well, tell me what's up. Tell the whole world what you witnessed.
It was awesome. It really was. The venue was great. Hospitality was great. The atmosphere, the way that they integrated the live commentary, that you could hear it over the crowd as well. It was kind of weird at first, but you kind of got used to it, and it was kind of nice. It wasn't just watching arm wrestling; it was hearing everything that was going on. But no, I mean, I think that they're doing it right out there. They have a couple kinks I think that they're going to work through, but I think the future's pretty good for the USA if they can keep doing it and bringing that high quality stuff out there.
I thought that was, that's pretty interesting that they integrated that. They kind of did that a little bit. I'm not sure if it was by accident, that knuckles up, but once in a while you could hear the commentators over the crowd, and then it would fade away. But I think for the most part, you didn't hear it at all.
I liked it. I mean, it was, like I said, it was different, especially when you got Travis talking shit to the referees or whoever else he wants to talk shit to. It was different, but hey, it wasn't like if the crowd gets quiet, sometimes you're sitting there like, well, this is really a good match, but nobody's really lively, right? But at least with the commentary, it was always going, so it was nice.
I do have a question with the rules. So it was one of the matches I was watching that Chance already posted on his YouTube channel. And it was a match where Mr. Sellers was involved. And in a rest grip, if you move, it's just a warning, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate that.
So it's just a warning, but they also say try to, like, if they're both kind of finagling, try to just straighten them out real quick and get it going. Right? I mean, if you notice, like, as the matches went on, we got a little bit more stricter and faster with it. But like that first match, it was like, I think that first match was like almost 25 minutes alone, just because of all the warnings, and
the on match definitely didn't happen that way. That was a lot of movement in that one.
I did not ref that, so I can't speak on that.
I know you didn't. I'm just saying.
So that's a partial soapbox, like maybe a shampoo box, because I look at it like this, like, okay, this is some of the problems that make matches go longer than they should be. If, rest grip, don't move. That's exactly what they mean. Don't move. You got last minute doing this. Okay, it's a warning. I'm like, okay, because all you're telling the athletes is that, well, heck, if I'm only getting a warning, I'm going to do it again.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
It's the same thing Ryan and I discussed after the knuckles up, right? How if you're going to have a 3-foul system, which I know East vs. West is a 2-foul system, if you're going to have a 3-foul system, get rid of the warnings and just make any movement in a rest grip a foul.
Tim,
and Knuckles up is doing that. King of the Table is doing that. So
here's a bit of a point towards that. So you take a guy, I'll use Auden for an example, because you haven't seen him pull a tremendous amount of tournaments and stuff like that. He is getting so used to moving around and referee's grip and just getting warnings. Is it going to be a disadvantage for him if he ever decides to go the other route?
100%.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys.
Yeah.
The only people that it's not going to be an issue for, in my opinion, are the guys that compete at WAF or at Europeans, because they're so accustomed to pulling underneath that rule set that they can adapt.
They're used to the multiple rule sets and going back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at
Whereas,
least you got a guy that's been there, been arm wrestling for a while that can, adapt to each rule set and still, get away with what he needs to get away with in that rule set and come and be strict for worlds or something. You don't just hop into the sport and learn that. I mean, that takes a lot of time. And these guys that are learning that type of way are now coming to tournaments going, oh, your guys fouled me out. Well, yeah, this is arm wrestling. This is what we do here.
And they
That's
blame
arm
the ref.
wrestling. I say that's entertainment within the rules. This is arm wrestling. There's a big difference of the entertainment within the rule set of the promoter and trying to make it entertainment, but keep it within the rules as much as you can for the viewers, than going to a nationals or going to a state championship. That's you're gonna get what you're gonna get at Worlds.
Right. So like the World Arm Wrestling, or I'm sorry, the World Series of Arm Wrestling. Tim, you've ref there. Nathan, you've ref there. And just so you know, Ryan, you might know this or not, but they got a 3-foul system. But guess what? Any movement is a foul. There ain't no warnings. So
everything's also a ref script as well. So there is no getting your own grip.
right. So it kind of eliminates all that other nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying we should just start altering the rules, but we're towing the line. Like, okay, here we go again.
Well, I think also too, like there's a line, and then there's so like this is, let's say, the basic line, like for everybody, for almost everybody, and then there's another line for certain individuals that's way over here off the screen, so nobody, you know what I mean? So
you're talking about something very different now.
Yeah,
different expectations for certain arm wrestlers,
or different leniencies for different arm wrestlers, I should say.
So, Tim, the high points for you, what were they?
Just the atmosphere, just the way that it was ran, the stage, being inside the dome. It was about a replica of the setup of King of the Table.
Yeah. Any surprises for you as far as a match outcomes?
Any surprise matchups or
any
something
surprises as far as what you expected to happen versus what actually happened? Because I mean, we all kind of expected Travis.
I think it's got to be unanimous. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Brad Gundy over Matt Mask. I mean,
I didn't see that happening in that fashion.
I saw it being a great match. I know where Brad's at, but to do what he did, I don't. That's another level.
I would have picked Brad, if I'm being completely honest with you. There's a few reasons for that. I think they had their little after pull and all that kind of stuff in the past, and we saw the outcome of that. And Brad's doing some different things now to prepare, and he's a young up and coming guy. If we made picks last week, I would have picked Brad.
I think
that just makes me the unofficial winner.
I agree with that, but I think another big shocker was the way Matt beat Wilton Brock.
Yeah, Wilton Brock also, he struggled to make that weight. I weighed him in. I didn't end up weighing him in until maybe 5 minutes before the press conference.
I also would have picked Wilton to win that match, and I was surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, he.
Wilton at 105. Wilton's not a 105 guy, in my opinion. He needs to be bigger around that 110, 115 mark. But
yeah, Wilton, the other thing is he's been away for so long. But
the last time I saw Wilton was 2 years ago in Mississippi, and he pulled supers, and Breda ended up beating him in supers. Like, I don't want to say comfortably, but fairly comfortably. So,
I mean, and then also Matt Mask and Brad Gundy being at 105 and weighing in that morning at 105, from my understanding, to me weighing him in at the press conference, because at the press conference they want to know what your weight is now after you recovered. That's why we did that, and I think both of them were like 7 to 8 kilos higher than they were 8 hours ago.
Wow.
I can believe it. Yeah.
I was like, good Lord.
Well, I mean, you used to see guys like fighters; they'd be 20 pounds heavier in lightweight classes, not like knocking on the door of supers.
Well, I mean, I know that I've put when I cut to 78 kilos before an event, I'm usually about 83. So I'll
Yeah,
put
but
5 kilos back on comfortably, easily.
yeah, but like, how many kilos do you put on in 6, 7, 8 hours?
If you're doing a big water cut and you do your rehydration properly with the right amount of glucose and sodium, I could put 5 kilos back on.
Yeah, they just looked big.
Hmm.
Both of them looked, and they both looked comfortable doing it. I didn't see one of them struggle.
Well,
Like,
like
oh, I'm trying to they're
so
in there eating and drinking during the press conference. Like they were just chill.
my big takeaway from that match was like inside the strap, which is usually where Matt is super, super, super good. And I'm basing this on like watching Anthony pull Matt a few years ago. Outside the strap, Anthony was giving Matt everything he wanted, but this was the opposite. Outside the strap, Matt was giving Brad trouble. I mean, he was taking Brad to the pad, and then Brad was getting the slip. But in the strap, Matt had nothing for Brad, which was shocking.
It's all matchups, man. It's all matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Well, comes into that low hand versus post. Brad had a great game plan in the strap, and it worked out great.
I'm excited to see where he goes to next.
Yeah, because his only appearance at East vs. West, he got a victory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's going to be awesome.
Well, I mean, he won there. He beat Pablo. He just beat Matt. He's going to be pulling at the one in Orlando, so it's going to be interesting to see who they pair him with.
Yeah.
And at what weight. So
It'll be a 105.
yeah. I mean, is he? It's hard to say he's like that upper echelon of 105 at East vs. West because I mean, that upper top 5, top 10 is at 105 especially.
What did he pull when he went to East vs. West and got that victory?
He pulled that guy out of Scotland or whatever it was, right?
Do you remember what the weight was?
115, I think.
I believe Devin was 106 kilos when I saw him.
Devin looks like he's lost a whole person.
I want to see Devin pull the 95 kg.
Whew. That's pretty light.
I don't think he's far off.
Hey, what do you guys, just to change gears a little bit, because, yeah, whatever. High five, doing the Arnolds.
Yeah.
Adding a 275 class.
Yeah.
Thank God.
We just talked about that last night. I was on the phone with Chris. And August 3rd, Scottsdale, Arizona, I'm putting on a qualifier.
I'm doing one up here too.
Yeah, that'll be my first one. Tentatively, it will be August 3rd, Scottsdale for me. And then September, maybe September, October in Denver with me and Corey.
Can I post that, Tim?
Yeah.
You got the flyer already for Scottsdale. Can I post that and say it's an Arnold qualifier? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing it right now as we speak. Go ahead.
And then Washington State. Washington State will actually probably be the final qualifier there will be. I believe they're cutting it off at the end of the year.
At the end of December, it's done. So you got to have your qualifiers in by December 31st.
Which mine is December 14th. So I would imagine there's really not that many tournaments in December. That's why I do Washington State in December. So
I'm looking at November now because I put the feelers out there to say, hey, what other events are happening? And turns out there's one like every 2 weeks throughout September and October.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing that. They read me the list of the confirmed qualifiers last night. Can't talk about it much, but holy man, like there's a lot.
And not just in North America.
Yeah, it's all over the world. It's crazy. Like there's going to be the Arnold's is going to be a big deal again.
Yeah.
Well, they said the tournament is going to be held in their booth, and then the finals left and right-handed, or semifinals and finals will be held on the main stage.
Yep.
From what I
Yeah.
understand. So
And from my understanding, the booth can fit up to like 3-4 tables.
yeah, I've been in talks with them about repping their qualifiers and going to Arnold's.
Have
for
you
the
guys
finals
been
as
to
well,
the
so-
Arnold's before?
I went in 2019,
Okay.
Nope. Never been.
and my
It is.
two losses were to Robbie Burnett and Derek Smith, and that was back when they had the
That was the year-
199 in overclass.
That was the year Robbie took second to Barbosa.
Mm-hmm.
The
Oh, yeah, I remember
experience
that.
of walking through that building at the their convention center in Columbus is wild. There's 50,000 people in there.
Whew, massive.
Yeah, so it's quite the thing.
But you know what made me happy to go, Ryan and Nathan and Tim, is because you know how, like, when you're not competing and you walk around because the convention center is so huge, and you know, hey, we're done, and I'm going watching a little powerlifting here, a little CrossFit there, and powerlifting and strongman. When they got this thing called the pit, so when your class is up, they have 3 tables, and your class is up. So when my class was not up, it was the lighter weights, and I'm looking around, and I see other athletes in their respective sports coming by in awe of what we're doing. And I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, that may sound kind of corny, but, you know, the fact that we had other athletes in their respective sports, and they're coming by, checking us out, going, man, what is this going on in here? And, you know, I heard about it, but I didn't know how popular it was. I thought that was a cool thing, but that's just
Yeah,
me.
we had somewhat of that experience on Saturday. We had the USA Fit Games here in Dallas, and
Yeah.
they had strongman, powerlifting, jiu-jitsu going on, and arm wrestling.
So that's what August 3rd is, the USA Fit Games. Yeah. And I believe last year they had 35,000 people walk through that door.
I believe it.
So
Well, I'm probably going to put most of my eggs in that basket of just getting ready for the Arnold Classic, because I've always wanted to win that thing. I always pleaded with whoever was running it, whether it was Frank, Karen, Denise, or Leonard, to please have a left arm class there. And
Yeah.
it's finally happening.
Well, I mean, I think you have to. I think I mean, you're literally shutting out people that are, you know, left-handed. So
I was told in years past because they didn't have enough time.
yeah.
So, but now
It's
with
never
having
been
your
done.
own booth, you can control that narrative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you
because
had the problem of Crazy George.
85-minute matches.
Yeah, and he would eat up almost the whole hour.
Yeah, because even now, I don't want to speak out of turn or whatever. I'm sure it's going to be released, but I think there is an option that even on the main stage during finals, like they might even be 2 tables during the finals, like a left-handed and a right-handed finals on there. And
I think that's smart.
yeah, they're going to have plenty of time. You know, obviously there's going to be kinks, but for the future, it looks great for the Arnolds for everybody.
Kink number 1,
Yeah.
get a hotel booked for the competitors.
Yeah, that's going to be a son of a bitch there.
Yes.
Well, I mean, there's that plus, and if I'm not mistaken, because Tim and I talked about this yesterday. So when you go to a qualifier, it's top 3, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
And all pro left, right, and women's left and right.
Well, I mean that's what it's been forever, and you still have a lot of people that qualify that don't even show up. So
Yeah.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, there's going to be a deadline. That's why they're cutting off the qualifications so early, that because there's going to be the athletes are getting more at this. The athletes are going to get more at this Arnold than they've ever seen before.
Yep.
I'm not going to release everything, but like that's why there's a deadline. And
Yeah.
I believe every spot will be filled. There's no doubt in my mind. Every spot will be filled, and you will probably see 18 plus people per weight class in every weight class.
Now, you also got to realize, too, and I put this post there last week, and I was like saying, hey, help me out. When's the next qualifiers or where and what locations? And then we got some of the past Arnold champions were like, hey, this is how it used to be. If you won the Arnold, you got an automatic invite to anyone you want down the road. And I'm thinking, well, now that it's under a new regime, that may not be the case anymore. So
I don't see how winning something in 2006 gives you a bye in 2025. So
yeah, it just because I know that was the rule back then. That was what made it, to me, of many reasons, one of the reasons why it was prestigious, because if you won that thing, you didn't have to qualify no more. So that was pretty cool. I will admit, you got the Letterman jacket and whatnot, and that was pretty cool. And once upon a time, I like what the High Five guys were doing, making it prestigious. Well, that was an event that, man, I wish I can go, but you can't just show up. You got to qualify for it. So I like that, which may segue into me in my soapbox, but I don't know if I got the green light yet because we're at the 20-minute mark. So,
I will say, let's take it a step further. Maybe you have to win like 3 or 4 to get that fucking that buy into it. Like you shouldn't just be able to win one. Like some people don't show up that year, and there's small classes. Like I say, if you want to honor that, you should have to win like 3 or 4 or 5 to be able to say, okay, now you're in the Arnolds for good. Like,
or how about what if you repeat? What if you repeat, right? Let's say you win back-to-back years. Then that gives you an option for a third year where you don't have to qualify or something. You know what I mean? Like,
but that could be back in COVID times.
No. I'm talking like get rid of all this old school buy crap, right? Because now it's not underneath, the way it was. It's under a new one. So starting fresh next year, if you win, let's say 2 in a row, then the third year you get a buy.
Well, I mean, you
get rid of all the old stuff.
Look at it. Where else does that? Where if you win it once, you can come back whenever you want. You automatically qualify. Is the Mr. Olympia contest. Now, imagine if Arnold just decided to come out of retirement and walk out on that stage right now. Technically, he could.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't – I don't like the fact that something you did hypothetically 20 years ago when it was what it was.
See, I like
has an effect on what it is this year.
I like what Justin said. The winner should just automatically qualify for the following year. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be able to win 20 years ago and now, oh, wait, I never used my free pass 20 years ago, so I'm going to use it this year.
When I went to the Arnolds the first time in 2001, Dave Randall won. Dave Randall's a legend, but he hasn't competed in a long time, and he's an older gentleman.
That's what I'm saying.
There's also tiers to this, right? So, like, golf for the first time ever just gave one person exemption for the rest of their life to play at any major. And that's Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
But it's Tiger. So that's like saying, oh, okay, John's won it 5 times. He has a lifetime into it, right? It's not just win one, but I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure they'll come up with something great, and we'll all.
They'll do something great, and we'll all be
great.
Yeah.
Jody, it's time.
Yes. Ha ha ha! All right, y'all ready for the soapbox edition?
I kind of got a little one myself too to follow yours, but you go first.
It could be Coast, Dial, Dove soap, whatever soap you want to choose from. So, I like when people
try
to do different. What's that?
So do I need to get the lighter ready to burn some shit, or
they're gonna burn? They're gonna burn my hide. They might crucify me after I say this, but because I want everybody in the chat to respond. I want you 3 gentlemen to respond. So here it is. I like when other people, organizations, try to make things better for the whole sport of arm wrestling. Okay, so follow me here. 3 groups, A, B, and C. Group A will do something, doesn't really pan out. Group B will do something, doesn't pan out. Group C does something, and it works. But now the hate comes from Group A and Group B because it wasn't their idea or because people didn't go along with that. So now, I'll say it to you this way.
That sounds like the Arnolds.
No way. So, here's the thing. I'm intrigued about what they're doing. I'm excited, because obviously, they're having a left-hand class. Perfect. I like what they're doing. It's something different. It's something new. It's something everybody can sink their teeth into, right? Question is, how many qualifiers are we going to have, right? And I might be getting off base here because my fear is that not every tournament needs to be a qualifier for something. Okay, so you take Unified Nationals. That's going to happen not this Saturday, but next Saturday in PA. Because that Nationals qualify you for WAF Worlds, right?
Yeah, it's USAF Nationals, yeah.
Yeah, USAF. Now, why does that need to be an East versus West qualifier?
It's also
there's my original soapbox right there.
It is?
Yeah, if you look at the flyer, it's tagged East versus West qualifier.
Well, so is Michigan State, and they use AAA rules. So I mean,
but why does every tournament need to have some kind of label like that? Because an East versus West qualifier or finals stand on its own. Michigan State stands on its own. Hell, the Unified Nationals stand on its own. Why do you have to start labeling everything with that? I don't get that. I never understood that.
Well, here's why. They're wanting to use, and this is just to be completely honest, they're wanting to use the East versus West being as big as what it is right now. Like, and we all know that. They're wanting to use that name to bring in more people. But here's the problem with some of it. When you do not put out your event in time, then, like, I'm willing to bet there might, at max, in 2 weeks at USAF Nationals, be 200 people.
Because of the attention
I literally just saw the flyer last week for it.
Hey, I'm going to tell you guys something. Canadian Nationals are in like 2 weeks.
I have something about that I'm not. Yeah.
We qualify you for nothing.
Exactly.
And it's going to be the biggest nationals we've ever had.
Well, I'm being told to add on to the qualifier thing from Jody. Take this as you will, because it's no confirmation. It's just through the grapevine that there's going to be no qualifiers next year, and there's only going to be a finals.
How's it a finals?
That's what I've heard. There might not be any qualifiers. There might just be a finals.
So it's an invite only to the finals, essentially.
So it's one event.
That's what I've heard over the weekend. But again, speculation, nothing from the bird's mouth, nothing like that. But that was just a rumor.
It just, I understand what Dan Woodley's saying. He goes, East versus West is a globally known brand. I get that.
That's what I said.
But why do you have to attach it to other tournaments? That's like me.
Because it's the promoter, typically, like, Ingen owns the East versus West name. It's a copywritten name.
Right.
That you have to pay the copyright fee if Ingen allows it to ride on the coattails of that organization to try to bring in more people to yours.
You want my conspiracy theory?
I
have a conspiracy theory about this one, particularly with USAF Nationals. I think people don't care enough about that particular event to go to it without it being a qualifier for something else.
Hold on, let me grab my iPad because
does that mean the attention is because, and Dan, I love what you're saying, and I get it. Trust me, because when you put East versus West, because it's the brand now, when you do that kind of stuff, are the people going because, hey, I can qualify for East versus West now, or are they qualifying for the national? Because it almost makes it seem like the Unified Nationals is taking a back seat because of the labeling of the East versus West. That's the way I see it.
Well, who's putting it on?
Simon Barakoa.
No, keep going.
James Reed.
Yeah, James Reed.
And
Paul Lynn.
Okay.
Does Paul have anything to do with nationals?
No, but him and James Reed, they do the East versus West stuff out in the Northeast.
James, it's look who's involved and look why the name's there.
It's also this is another bit of that power struggle between the world organizations that's spilling into other tournaments at the national level. And you guys might not agree with me, and that's okay. But I think that WAF is leveraging what is popular that they're affiliated with to try to bolster their smaller organizations in other countries.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, the WAF label in the United States is virtually non-existent.
And
Well,
I'm not, and this is no shot at James Reed or Paul Lynn or anything, but it's not a shot at anybody. But one has to wonder, are you going there for a national title? Or are you going there because, hey, if I win in my class, does that mean I get to qualify for the finals of East versus West? Do you see what I'm saying? How that could be a cloudy thing, or is it just me?
Do you have that flyer? I haven't seen a flyer yet.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
have
give me a
that flyer that
Yeah,
says it's a
let me dig it up because
I would love to see a qualifier because I saw something posted, and I don't know if this is what you saw posted, but there was 2 flyers.
There it is.
Does it say East versus West qualifier?
It sure does. Right at the top there.
Right at the top. Yep. East versus West.
you see what I'm
trying
saying?
to find last year's
It
USAF
says
Nationals.
East versus West 2025 qualifier. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm like, okay,
Well, yeah, I don't like that because the USAF Nationals is supposed to qualify you for Worlds, not
Right.
East versus West.
It's a different path. We're talking about the amateur side spilling into the professional side.
Yeah, see, I actually heard something yesterday, and this is mine. Somebody made a comment yesterday. I won't say who, that WAF is the amateur league. I'm like, okay, you're going to say that, but let's take people like Sandras, Alajon, all these guys that have dominated at WAF Worlds and have kicked a lot of ass at East versus West, and you're going to tell me these guys are amateurs?
It's only considered amateur because you don't get paid. It's the same as all the top USA professional basketball players going back and playing in the Olympics. They're competing in an amateur event. They're not getting paid.
Yes, they do.
Well, okay, but the Olympics is considered amateur sport. It doesn't make them any less of players.
Yeah, they get paid off endorsements.
Yeah, they get a pretty good chunk of change. And like a lot of countries, not the United States, get paid to go to WAF Worlds.
But okay, let's do the Olympics, right? They get paid off of the government of the United States, right? No different as in the federation of a different country getting paid for Worlds too. It's the same thing. You're not getting paid from the actual organization. You're getting paid from your country, which is no different than WAF.
It's the same. Like you amateur shouldn't be considered such a dirty word in the sport.
Well, I think the reason a lot of people call it amateur, quote unquote, is because it's a tested event. And now, according to be a professional in this sport, you're going to have to be on everything under the sun.
Well, I mean, they're mixing up the word amateur with the word novice, I think, too. It doesn't mean they're lesser arm wrestlers, but
yeah, I was going to say, tell Alajon that when he throws your left arm across the table.
And so, like with Dan Woodley's comments, and I don't disagree with you, Dan. I mean, I do like the comment that you can qualify for both, but why does it have to be that though? Because there's one take away from the other is where I'm getting at. Because prior to this flyer being made, we all had tournaments. Everybody knew when the qualifiers were for East versus West. We knew when the finals were. And now to sit there and say, now what Ryan just said before, or Tim just said before, hey, there's only going to be one event next year, so it's going to be the finals. So does this national qualify you for just one final? I thought we're not going to have any more qualifiers. You see what I'm saying?
That's just through the grapevine, but again, I could be completely wrong.
Right. Okay. I mean, if it, and if I'm out of line, then hey, it wouldn't be the first time, right?
No,
I totally get what you guys are saying.
The qualifiers are weird because historically they've not been. You could just pay extra money and get in anyway,
which defeats the purpose.
Yeah. I'm curious, Nathan, what you're going to say about the Canadian Nationals and the not qualifiers.
Oh, yeah. So my thing that I don't like that that they're doing with qualifier for WAF through Canada is this year you guys had to go to Mexico to qualify.
Well, that's because they started another organization that's not part of the Canadian Arm Wrestling Federation.
Yeah. So my thing is like, and I've talked to several Canadians about this. They're wanting your nationals to qualify you for either IFA or WAF, which
is
would
exactly
work.
What we want.
Would work, but you have to then have weight classes that work because the IFA and the WAF weight classes are completely different.
The Canadian Arm Wrestling Federation still uses WAF weight classes.
Yeah, but IFA has, what is it? WAF for men has, 10 or 11 weight classes. I believe 8 for women, and IFA has like 6 for men
Why
and
are we
3.
talking about IFA? We don't use IFA classes, and you don't have to qualify for IFA. You can just go.
Fair enough. That's true.
But who's the one that said Michigan State's the East First West qualifier? But
I saw it on their flyer.
It was.
So why would you do that? And this is where I'm going, Dan Woodley. So why would you make Michigan State an East First West qualifier, but you're using AAA rules?
To get people to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking weird. Because then all of a sudden, if someone does that, okay, cool. But now you go to this organization. Well, these are the rules, and it's like, wait, what? You said it just confuses everybody because everybody got their own set of rules, but yet we're going under this one umbrella. But the qualifiers got different rules. That's just strange to me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it can be a little bit confusing too.
Well, this kind of goes into my soapbox here a little bit.
Let's hear it.
So I'm looking at events from the past weekend, and I see that there are still pro-level, world-caliber athletes that are going around collecting medals at what you could consider almost an amateur or novice event. I've seen this a lot. And you have that group of people, and then you have the group of people that always want that novice class because they don't want to pull with these people. And when I'm doing my Arnold qualifier, when I put it on, it is just an Arnold qualifier. It is going to have those pro classes. That's it. There's not going to be a novice. There's not going to be a master's. There's going to be none of that stuff. We are going to use the qualifiers right and left that we are told we need to qualify people for, and that's the entire event. And everyone gets thrown into the mix, and may the best competitor come out on top.
Well, for something like that, I completely, if you have something like an East versus West qualifier or an Arnold qualifier or something that qualifies you for a bigger thing, right? Like if you're going to nationals if you're going to a national as an amateur and then trying to go to world as an amateur, like, okay, fine. I get that. Like they have youth classes there. But if you're trying to qualify for something that's going to get you somewhere else, there shouldn't be an amateur class at all.
No. And I hate providing so many weight classes just so people can have their participation, potentially get an award. And it comes back to, I went to my first national championships in 1997, and there was a novice class. So the tournament was amateur. There was a novice class. And somebody said, hey, do you want to come pull this novice class? You got a good shot of winning. And I said, I would rather be last place in the good class than first place in the shitty class. And that's the philosophy I've followed for my entire career.
Like there was an amateur national this week in Dallas, right? I think there was 160 some entrants.
National championships should all be considered that.
Well, this was a quote, just no pros allowed. Your area score had to be a certain thing. You can't have a certain amount of wins and amateurs and all kinds of. I just ref. I don't get into that crap.
I like that. In my opinion, I like that. I think that we need that separation. I think that if you do that, though, there needs to be some sort of like, that's where amateurs go, and this is where pros go, though. But
and that's the mistake when WOL first came out with the tournaments, and you had a bunch of amateurs and pros, all that money, you had 6 goddamn broken arms and shit. Because when you go against these pros and there's money on the table, they coming for blood. When you got these amateurs, because they want to be in the limelight or they want to be in the same venue with these guys they've been idolizing, and you got fucking 6 months of fucking arm wrestling under your belt, and you go in there and get that fucking bone snap, like, okay, this is where you got to separate.
Yeah, well, I can tell you from reffing, like I hate reffing amateurs. I absolutely hate it because I'm so freaking nervous at all times and on edge that like you see so much crap and you just want to grab them and yeah.
You watch me this weekend at my tournament. I'm gonna be so anal because I don't want that at no referee wants a broken arm at their event. Let's get that straight. Okay, so I got to be so anal. I'm like, look, man, I'm gonna say this, and like all referees before we start the event, hey amateurs, listen up, because this is for you. Don't sit there and start emulating what you see on TV. Knock it off.
Oh, they
'Cause if
still
I
do
see-
it. They
What's
still
that?
do it. It doesn't matter if you tell them to knock it off or this, that, and the other. Everybody's on YouTube and they have their favorite person that dicks around in the setup and tries to get everything and just like, yep, they're still going to do it. I don't care how much you tell them, they're still going to do it.
Have you ever seen another
I'm pulling
sport that
amateurs.
holds the two together, like a pro and an amateur? Like, should it be that way, or should they be completely different events, different promotions, separation?
I like so Texas has been doing a thing that I kind of like. Hey, there it is. I'm one of this. So amateurs come in at X time and compete, and then pros come in at Y time and compete. Right? So like there's like so let's say amateurs start at noon, right? Well, pros start at 3. So now you have that separation a little bit. Which is to me is a good thing because I don't want to sit there and watch everything all the way through. That's just me. But I like having that gap too.
I can tell you what I'm doing at Washington State, and I'm going to try it out and see if it works out. Is I'm running I always start with left. And I always skip a weight class with 3 tables, so no classes pull side by side. If you've been to my event, you know that.
Yep.
I'm doing the 54, 98, 242 left amateur, and then I'm going to do those same weight class pros. So I'm going to go amateur, pro, so people don't have to sit there all day long. It's going to go back and forth, and then after the left's done, we're going to do it with the right. We're going to try that out.
So while I'm on this point, 2022 USAF Nationals, right? 151 entries. That's to qualify you for WAF Worlds. Only 150 people showed up. That's not a lot.
I like Jocelyn's comment, by the way.
Who's?
Jocelyn.
What'd you say? Sorry, I didn't see it.
She said, Ottawa pros go first. It's a really good way for them to see what they expect when it comes to amateur. Yeah. And I'm thinking about doing that this weekend at my event where I'm like, okay, open guys, you go set the tone. That's why these amateurs can see how it's fucking done.
Well, I know a lot of promoters don't like that because they want their amateurs to jump in the pro class too.
That's just a money grab.
Well, I'll speak on that because I'm a promoter. I don't like it depending on where you're at, right? If your host venue is relying on people to stay there all day long, and these pros pull and they just leave, and it's an empty crowd of amateurs, that venue just lost all that revenue. So it depends on where you're at to do that as well. Like if you're not relying on people to stick around all day long,
Up. Come here.
I think it's a great idea. Have the amateurs watch the pros so they know what they do, and then they can go next. But
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword though, right? At the same time, because you'll have some pros. Let's use Crazy George as an example, getting in that crazy ass Kings move of his. I don't want to see an amateur get in that position because the likelihood that they're going to tear a bicep or have an elbow issue or a humerus issue is extremely high compared to George, who can sit there for a year and be completely fine.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about it.
I think it's a double-edged sword, right? It's a fine line.
Well, the venue I got is outdoors on a big stage, but also there's a tap house, there's food trucks there. There's going to be a concert later that night. So it's like my situation is a little bit different, and I can flip-flop. I can say, hey, we're going to go pros first, and then by the time the day's over, I might say, no, I'll go amateurs first. But the one thing that will go absolutely first will be the super matches first to kind of get the thing rolling and stuff, that's just
I think it like Tim said, I think it depends on, where you're at, what are the circumstances of your venue. There's a lot of underlying things that, people don't know that you have to take into account. So, I mean, if you have money on the line with a venue and the venue, like you said, Tim, is counting on that revenue, I understand it, right? So
it is nice when you go to some of these expos that people go to the expos all weekend long, right? And they do the pro men, the pro women on Saturday, and then they do the masters and amateurs on Sunday.
yeah. I agree. Like I said, I like having that gap. You know what I mean? Especially for me, like if I'm reffing it, I like having like, oh, okay, we only had, let's say, 100 amateurs show up. Well, you can blow through 100 amateurs in an hour and change, right? And now that gives me time to kind of sit back, decompress, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, and then go do the pros where I'm not as where I honestly just don't care. Like if you're a pro and you put yourself in a bad spot, well, you know better.
Mhm. What about starting an amateur tournament at 9 a.m. in the morning, and then starting a pro tournament at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah, that's this. Yeah, I'd say that's perfectly fine.
Two
I
separate
think a
tournaments
lot.
the same day.
I think a lot depends on how many entries you got. Because if you do that, like take Winter Blast for example, they're at a point now they're getting 500 plus entries. You're gonna have to fucking make that a 2-day event, damn near a 3-day event, and they keep adding classes.
Well, how many people is that though? Because
500
I
entries,
because I heard
250,
I heard
300,
there was 108 classes. Have you ever
108.
heard of that in your life?
There's
No,
108,
It's a lot.
total weight
That's
classes.
dude, they got a
classes.
semi-pro division.
They have a novice, amateur, semi-pro, pro, masters, grandmasters, senior grandmasters,
Why?
your mama's grandmasters, your children's masters, your children's
Why?
children.
Nathan's dogs fucking division. So it's
Hey,
like
don't get him started. He'll get fucking crazy in here.
I'm just saying, like, how many people were there though? No, I'm not discrediting the event. It looked great, but how many actual people were there, right? So say, and I'll just throw out my event because Arizona State. Well, yeah, I probably could have had twice as many entries too if I added 80 more classes.
well, that's just it. Because now if you look at Sean Hancock, who was fucking there, what, 8 hours, 11 hours? You had referees that were there that left because it's like, hey man,
We got a cover for Ryan, guys. His power just went out. So just letting you know.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
he just
mean, yeah, I mean, there's, I think we're getting to, I mean, when you're having an amateur, a semi-pro, a novice, a pro, like I understand the master's classes, like I completely understand those. I think we need more ladies classes. I've been saying that for the longest time now. Um, the grandmasters and stuff like that, right? Which is fine. Um, like there's a lot, but when you're adding in a novice and semi-pro and this, that, and the other, it's like, come on, like seriously.
because see that's when you start going into like, okay, you
Well,
still
like
don't want
think
to go to
about.
the pros, you
Well, my
know?
thing is like, how long does it take to figure out which freaking class to put Joe in? Oh, Joe comes here and signs up for amateur, semi-pro, and novice. Like, what the, huh? How can you be all three?
Well, I'll tell
Well,
you what,
you
like,
you can only go down a tier and up a tier. You can't skip 2 tiers.
Yeah, well, just get rid of the other two bullshit things and
I don't know.
but then does that mean that it's just a moneymaker at that point
100%.
for the promoter? Because it's like, okay, who walks around saying, oh yeah, well, I took first at a semi-pro. Like I don't the only semi-pro I was ever affiliated with was semi-pro football. That was the only semi-pro I was actually affiliated with, you know?
Well, don't tell Paul Italia that he wore those damn semi-pro medals with pride on every one of his podcasts.
But again, nothing against Paul, but he needs to get out of that. Get away from that. Because if you're whacking everybody in amateur and semi-pro, then just be done with that. Move
Well,
on to the opens and see where you go because
you
everyone's
say that
different.
you
And I
say
get
that,
that.
Jody, but you still have those guys that just all they want to do is have that chest candy to be like, look, I got first place in this, but that's what they want. They want to look good when they take a picture and post it on social media, like they, you know.
Well, I mean, hell, like when I went to the Arnold and fucking got slaughtered by Derek Smith and Robbie Burnett, I still had a great time, you
Well,
know.
don't feel bad. That's the way we all feel when we pull Robbie. Still, it's
Well, speaking of pulling, your boy, the next time you see him pull, is pulling 198s.
who
Who?
you? Are
I
you
mean,
going on a diet, Tim?
I'm 218 right now, and I'm not pulling again until September, and I'm going to be 198 from here on out.
Where are you pulling in September?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
It's not released yet.
Well, that's no
Oh,
fun.
damn it.
But I'm telling you, though, it's going to be bad for a lot of people. I'm telling you what. It's gonna be bad.
Maybe I need to cut some weight and get ready for. What are the weight classes for the Arnold anyway? Just curious on the side note.
All standard.
Yeah,
Standard.
98, 42, 20 supers. And then the
Yeah,
265 or whatever it is.
54,
275.
76, 98, 220, 242, 275 supers.
And then over. Gotcha.
They got a 220 for the Arnold?
Yeah, they always have.
Well, okay, so again, when I qualified, it was 199 and over. So
yeah, but we're not talking like 10 years ago.
Whoa. So if they got a 220,
they got a 190. They got a 198.
See?
Yeah.
I could totally do that.
I had my fun in the 220s. I stayed around 230 for a long time. I'm going to be walking around. I'll be either pulling the 209s or the 198s from here on out.
And your qualifier, you said you got one in Arizona. You said you're going to have one in Denver.
Yep.
And you got Washington State.
Yeah, we're trying to throw a third one. So what they're doing is it's regions, right? So
yeah,
like Northeast.
I can have one in Washington, but that means like the most likely nobody in Oregon or like Utah or Idaho will be able to have a qualifier if there's one in Washington. Like you have to go there to have it. So like in Arizona, there's most likely not going to be one in like New Mexico or something like that. Just like out east, I think there was one over the weekend, whatever one there was in PA. So now like that was their qualifier for that region.
Well, yeah, you have like the Northeast, you have the Pacific Northwest, you have the South.
Yeah.
You have, okay, let's say the South, the Southwest, the Southeast, because Arizona.
You got your big states that are probably going to have one, but then all the connecting states, there's one. So like
I could see one being in Missouri. So you have like Illinois, Idaho, Idaho, Iowa, stuff like that. And then Texas, obviously having one in like Dallas, because that kind of is the easiest place to get to, in my opinion. But what do I know?
If I got down to 220, because that's what I was when I qualified in 2019, but it didn't matter because fucking, it was 199 and over. So,
Jody, come join me. 198s, baby. Let's go.
Dude, I don't know if I can make 198 anymore.
Oh, yeah, you can. You change that diet up like I changed mine up. I'm shredding it off.
Dude, I look like a fucking bobblehead.
No.
You do got a big head.
Jody, you can walk around 208.
Jody,
well, yeah, but I was younger. I'm almost 50 now. That's fucking hard to do now.
Jody be walking around like this because his dome's too.
You're not even halfway yet. What are you like 43?
What?
44?
How much I weigh?
How old are you?
He's like 49.
48.
Yeah.
You're 48?
Yeah.
You look like you're still in 1990.
No,
you don't age,
man.
You can do it.
He has a good skincare routine.
Yeah, it's called cocoa butter.
Butter.
In a year, look, think about this. In a year and a half, I'll be eligible for Grandmasters. That's fucking scary. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's 90 tournaments in the U.S. that have Grandmasters now.
Yeah, so you're good there.
But if I really wanted to push it, then I'd be focusing on because there's no way I'm going to win a world title in the open class. I would have a better opportunity, in the master, grandmasters, what have you, whatnot. So,
yeah. So you want to hear something that bugs me? This is my opinion. So when somebody walks around saying I'm a world champion and they're doing this, like, I won worlds, and then they pulled like ultra grandmasters, and there was 2 people in their class.
Here, can I give you an example?
I'm like, come on.
Here's this. Check it out. So back in the day, a big tournament out in Oregon was the U.S. Open on the coast. Mm-hmm. Tim, you know about this. And Bill Collins put it on. And that was one of the prestigious ones in the Pacific Northwest.
We're bringing it back.
Right. Thank you.
Somebody gave me a thumbs down. That's nice of them.
The problem was when I finally won first place, and granted, it was the Masters. I took like 3rd or 4th in the Open that day. But when I won the Masters, I don't talk about it because a certain person was in that class and all the guys said they opted out.
But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, it's annoying when you got these guys running around like, I won a world championship. It's like, yeah, you won a world championship with one other person in your class.
I mean, if you won, I mean, it's like it depends on how you post it. Hey, it took first today, whatever, or you really posted it all, that kind of stuff. I mean, for me, and I'll say this, I've told the story a lot. When IFA Worlds in 2021, I understand the search situation. It was right off of COVID. I understand, it's basically a national if you think about it, with a few other countries participating. And for me, it was cool because I got a chance to stand on the podium with the American flag draped around my back. I thought me, that was cool. I understood. I mean, yeah, there were more than just 1 or 2 people in my class. There were like 8, 9, 10 people, I guess. But
okay, but I'm saying you had more than one match.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's my point, right? Like you actually had to compete against other people. Like you didn't go there, pull one person, and go home.
Gotcha.
That's what I was getting.
Well, at that point, you just keep it to yourself, right?
Yeah, well.
Hell no, I'm wearing that shit proud. Fuck it. I want it.
You would.
Hey, so what qualifiers, like with Texas, right? So what
I don't know.
Y'all got?
I don't have a clue. What do you mean?
Well, okay, so you got just in general for bigger tournaments.
Yeah.
Next month, Fort Worth, there's a qualifier, goes to the finals.
World Series of Arm Wrestling. Typically, right. Texas does. So Texas you have to do qualifiers for state, right? Like,
yeah.
The way it works is if you finish, I believe it's top 2 in your class, it automatically qualifies you for state, and like you don't have to pay to get in, but you can still participate in state, obviously.
No, but like how many qualifiers does Texas have, right? So they got a World Series Arm Wrestling qualifier, they have an East versus West qualifier.
We haven't had it. We haven't had an East versus West qualifier this year, nor do I know if there's going to be one.
You had 2 of them
this year.
Yes, Sarah McKinney, and then put on 2 of them.
I don't know.
I heard about it at the finals.
Yeah, well, I don't know what else is going on this year. I don't.
But that's what we're talking about. Those how many now? All these state tournaments, all these other tournaments. These organizations are throwing qualifiers.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to. I mean, I'm assuming there's going to be. I'm assuming there's going to be an Arnold qualifier here. Like that's an assumption, just being it is Texas's.
But what I like about, I guess where I'm trying to get with this, for an example, the World Series. That's just a World Series event. That's not TAL event. That's now a qualifier. So what I'm saying is,
I get what you're saying.
The TAL's not piggybacking off of a name.
No, that's
why not just have, if you're gonna do a qualifier, that's a qualifier. It's not a piggyback. You don't throw the name on.
Yeah, you may be involved. Like TAL is involved with it as a sponsor or a co-host or something like that. But it's a World Series event.
Like I'm not calling my Arizona State Championship East versus West qualifier or a World Series Arm Wrestling qualifier or whatever. It's just an Arizona State Championship.
Yeah, no. I know exactly what you're saying. I agree. Right. I think any qualifier should be a standalone event, right? Like if it's an East versus West qualifier, it's East versus West in affiliate. If it's World Series, it's World Series. Like you can have your, if you're the state organization, let's say Armsport or whoever, like you can have your name on the banner as like a co-sponsor or whatever, a co-host, whatever. But it's an X qualifier, not central qualifier with East versus West.
It's not piggybacking.
That's the difference between what we talked about earlier in the soapbox.
Well, it's exactly what I just, it's what we were talking about earlier, like with the USAF Nationals now being an East versus West qualifier. The reason they're doing it is because, like I said, 2 years ago, they had 150 people at USAF Nationals. Like,
you want to know why? Because they don't fucking promote it. Look, man, I mean, I know this point blank because there's a certain person I know I'm real close with, and they told me that they're in these group chats. They know when the event is, but not a lot of people do. Then they spring on you last minute. Well, yeah, that means to me, here's my event, LOD, the 4th one, by the way, this Saturday. I've been promoting that some bitch since last year.
Well, that's the way it should be, right? If you want people at your event, you need to be like if you can definitively say, okay, this is the date, this is the location, it's not going to change, like 100% guarantee, then minimum 6 months out, you should be promoting your event hard. right?
Washington
Like Tim,
State.
yeah. Tim, what
Yeah.
Arizona? To Arizona, I knew the venue and the Tate and stuff like that at least 6 months out.
It was
I remember
released
how-
right after what? So I released Arizona after Washington State, and then after Arizona State, I released the Washington State. It's
That's what I'm
6
saying.
months.
So
They're
You had
6 months apart.
Scottsdale first this year.
Yeah.
But still, it's enough time to know, because in
They'll
our
start
area,
prepping, right? Because like if you're having to buy a freaking ticket to go to Pennsylvania, which is not a great place to fly into, right? Because like where they're having it isn't like a super populated area. Like you're gonna have to fly in somewhere and then get a rental car and then drive and then you got to find a hotel and you got to find a hotel that's gonna allow you to do X, Y, and Z and just like I don't know.
no, I mean, I totally get it. But again, when you promote, if you wanted people to show up, you got to promote, right? And you would think one would think for a national, I can go ahead and I need to go there, place top 2 if that's still the rules, and then qualify for Waff Worlds. Then let me know when it's at, not just this special group chat with certain people, and then all of a sudden, last minute, you spring it on. And I know that flyer came out maybe March. I don't know.
I saw the first thing for USAF Nationals a week ago.
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
I'm curious to see how many people around the United States go and try to qualify compared to how many local people go because it's another tournament. Because
I think it'll be
for an example, the last couple years, at least 2 that I know of, it's been in Kansas City.
Yep.
And it's literally at the airport. It's the hotel airport. Like I walked to my terminal from the hotel.
That's what I'm saying though. Like 2
So
years
it was
ago,
so convenient, but there was nobody there. So
Because they don't promote it.
if this place is really not that convenient, and how many people are actually going to go compared to just locals?
and my thing is like you take somebody like me, right? Like I typically compete around 80 kilos. Like I need to know. I want to know months in advance. That way I can start my cut to 75 because I don't want to show up there and like, I don't want 3 weeks to be like, oh shit, I got to lose 22 pounds in 3 weeks. No, I'm okay. You know what I mean? So
at that point, it's like, fuck it, I'm not going in because I never got enough time.
exactly.
I mean, for some people, you got to go, okay, and this goes back to what Dan Woolley was saying, the travel expenses, all that kind of stuff. First of all, you got to find out where it's at. Then you got to go, okay, PTO, vacation, whatever. Hey, now I got to find, maybe airfare, hotel accommodations. And depending on when you find out, the last minute shit costs a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
So here's a great example, right? We bought for tickets for Arizona from Dallas when we did it. We bought them for under $300 round trip. We bought them, I think 6 weeks, 7 weeks out. 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, the ticket doubled in price.
Yeah.
So
like, okay, Nathan, I'll give you an example. If you plan on going to Washington State this year and it's in December,
I'm buying my ticket now.
Okay, I guarantee you now the ticket you got now is going to be a lot cheaper than if you were to fucking purchase it in around Halloween. Guarantee it.
I'm one of those people, like I prepare well in advance. I want to know where I'm going. I'll have my hotel planned, all that stuff, months upon months in advance.
Yeah. So, there you have it. You know what I mean? So,
because for me to go to Washington State, it's actually easier to fly into Portland and then just drive up north to Vancouver. So,
well, that's where everybody flies. It's literally a 12-minute drive to the host hotel. It's the same hotel it's been for the last 4 years. They take care of us. Same venue.
What's the date? What's the date for Washington
14th.
State? December
September
14th.
14th. Yeah.
So I'll give you an example, right? If I was to buy it now to Portland,
we do a math. Here we go.
No, I'm just website. I could get it for $300 right now, round trip.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, if I wait a week out or 2 weeks out, I'll guarantee I can't get it for $300.
Yeah.
You know how much you can get it if you lived in Washington and Arizona State? $60 round trip nonstop right now.
Through who?
Oh, wow.
Frontier.
No, well, I'm fine. Screw that. I'm flying American.
Me too, but that just shows like all the people that have already booked their tickets to Washington State from here is crazy.
Yeah, like I'm looking right here at Spirit, right? If you wanted to fly Spirit, it's $296. Or I could spend the extra $50 to fly American. I'll take the 50.
Hey,
Yeah.
Tim, you want to correct Joe Nelson? No, Joe, it's December 14th, not September.
Yeah, December.
I think you said September on accident.
Oh, I'm sorry, December.
You
No, I
might have
heard
had
December.
knuckles up on the brain or something.
I heard
Yeah,
December.
maybe. Well, what is Knuckles Up on the 14th? What do I know?
Yeah. Knuckles up 4, September 14th.
You know, I heard a comment
I might be
on
there.
a. So, Jody, I want your opinion on this. Tim, you were there, so you got to behave.
Oh.
Tim, Jody, I want your opinion on this. I heard
Okay.
somebody say the reason Auden keeps getting invited back is he keeps winning. But here's my quarrel with that. Who's he beaten that isn't an Instagrammer or a YouTuber or something like that?
Does one think that because they're like setting up a path to where he can get some? It's like how much do you watch college football, Nathan?
A lot. So, but my thing is like, it's like, when you have Alabama play like a D3 team, just beat the shit out of them so they feel good about themselves going into an event. Into their first game.
It's like when University of Texas plays fucking Miracle Whip A&M and fucking
Well, here's my thing too. Like they put him up against James, and James came to Texas last year and didn't win a match.
I'm gonna say one thing. I like Auden. Great kid. Like, don't get me wrong. Fun to watch. The last 2 guys he's pulled. How many followers do they have on YouTube?
Millions.
Well, yeah.
All right, we're done.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Like, if you put him against anybody in the United States at 220 inside the top 20, he gets the shit beat out of him.
It's just entertainment, guys. It's a business move.
I know it is.
Well, I mean, okay, let's say, first of all, how much does he weigh?
235.
Damn, he weighs that much now?
Yes, he was 235.
Oh, wow. Could he beat Mika?
No.
No.
Do you see what I'm saying? And Mika ain't 235. Dude, that's my whole point, though. So, like, if you're doing it for, marketing standpoint, fine. But at the same time, it's like, it just goes back to what you said, Nathan. And I hate to use this as an example, but just to kind of make my point, you got somebody win Grandmasters Worlds and you only pull one person. Hey, look at me. Okay, you pulled somebody that was a fucking social media icon, but when it comes to the sport, they're not as good, and you whack them. I mean, where's the credibility, right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, put Mika in there, and we have that same success.
I think if you put anybody in the top 20 from any of them.
And I'm picking people in the lower weight class. Put Dallas Langston. Does he have that same success?
Right now, yes, because Dallas's shoulder is completely gone.
Oh,
After
yeah.
Arizona.
I forgot about that. That was a bad one. My bad.
Too soon? Too soon?
That'd be like saying put him against AJ. Yeah, AJ just got his distal reattached. He's screwed.
Yeah. That was a horrible.
Yeah,
thing.
Jody. Jeez.
Do you see what I'm saying though?
God, Jody.
I know he's still new in the sport. He has a lot of followers, but are we at a point now where it's just, well, he has a lot of followers, so give him the match? But hey,
yes.
I mean, here's the thing. John Terrian, remember the Savage Search?
Yes.
But John's been pulling everybody though.
He's getting ready to pull Hunter Knopf left-handed and Austin Tevis right-handed at 76.
He's been pulling everybody.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
That's a long day.
That is a very long day. And
John's
left isn't near as right. So, no, I agree. Well, I mean, like, there's a lot of people that just have. And the thing is, like, I get keeping him against people like that because, like, if he loses, then, like, what happens, right? Like, oh, crap. See, it's one of those, he told you things.
Okay, look, I'm going to say this right now at the 1 hour and 9 minute mark. I'm going to say this right now. If they're worried about losing, then maybe this ain't the sport for you. We've all got our asses handed to us once upon a time.
I know some people that just took some losses not long ago, and they have vanished now because they got showed where they're at on, I guess, a level. And now they're like, well, crap.
Jody, we grew up trying to impress the Northeast reader board. They grew up trying to impress YouTube. It's a different world.
Yeah.
100%.
If we got our names spoken on the Northeast reader board, we were fucking big time. We were awesome.
How long were you and I scrapping to beat people like Herman McCoy? Do you see what I'm saying?
Years.
Yeah.
Dude, I almost stopped arm wrestling when I beat him, dude. I cried. I was like, that was my fucking match right there. I was almost done. Like, that's the only person I've ever wanted to beat, back in the day.
Right. Oh, sorry, Russ. Yeah. This weekend is the
Air 64, yeah.
the second
yeah.
one. Forgot all about that.
I just want you guys to know Anthony Lowe wins.
You think so?
Oh, you know who's gonna win? The referee. Every time.
No, Anthony wins. That's my opinion. Having seen his prep, I mean, he just went through everybody at Arizona State like they were children, right-handed. Nobody.
Did he win first place?
Easily. Super easy.
There's some guys in there that are gonna shake some things up, and it's gonna be fun to watch.
Well, so if he wins his first match, his next match will be against either Brandon Allen or Sear. And I don't see Sear beating Brandon Allen. Saray, or however you say it, sorry.
Wait, so hold on. So Saray and Brandon, they have a match coming up?
Yeah,
They're the first round of the 64.
Oh, damn. Out the gate, man.
Yeah. So you have two Kings movers.
Whoever loses is a long day.
Yeah. And then the winner of that, if Anthony wins his first match, which I suspect he will, Anthony has to pull a Kings mover.
Wow.
Well, Christian Moore's first match is Brian Sitton.
You think Anthony will beat Brian Sitton?
Well, you want to bet?
I don't. I've never seen
They've pulled
Brian pull before, so
Brian is all side pressure this way.
Actually, I take that back. I saw him pull at one of those Texas Flash Pin productions, which I'd never seen since.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
He lost left-handed to Mac.
Yeah, Mac Truck, right.
Yeah, and Anthony just made Mac look like a child left-handed at Arizona State.
Russ Schrader says Anthony has Richard Cogburn first match.
Yeah, and he beats Richard, in my opinion.
I beat Anthony last time I pulled him. What's up?
Was that right or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay.
I got screwed. Not by Anthony, but by the ref at last year.
I was going to say, don't even blame him. It was the refs.
No, I'm not blaming Anthony. No, he did what he had to do. The ref fucking, woo, man. It only makes me raise my blood pressure up on that one. Man.
What'd I do?
No, you weren't. It was Chris Collins and that guy from California.
Crispin?
Vaskin?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Crispin Woods?
Yeah. Collins was the head ref. So we're pulling left hand.
So it's Chris
and
Collins.
Got him down, and Crispin didn't make the call, thinking, dude, fingers on below the, and like a dummy, I just match. I'm like, you're not calling it? And so I kind of looked, stopped pulling for a second. And Anthony's like, oh, okay. And then he ended up pinning me. I'm thinking, really? But, it is what it is. So, but no, I'm not blaming Anthony whatsoever.
I still pick him. Obviously, he's a teammate and a friend, so I'm picking him.
So Andre said he purchased his Florida tickets. So I'm assuming he's Florida tickets for 300 round trip. What Florida?
For
what
East First West? East First West, probably.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. In August, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think for me it was like $100 round trip.
Well, I think a lot has to do with location too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm telling you. So now that Travis won, who's his next match? Is that the East First West?
Yeah, it is.
Sergey?
Yes, Kalyanchenko is a way to. If you put Sergey against Derek Smith, right or left-handed, he smashes Derek. So,
well, okay. So is that I'm not crapping on Derek, but Derek even tells you his left is not his money hand. So was that more to kind of get some more confidence in Travis or what? You were there, Tim.
It was a filler match.
Yeah, just to kind of
Kyle Hutchinson was still there, but he got hurt in Manchester. So it was a filler match, but
Kyle
Travis
wouldn't beat him either.
Travis is starting to look like Travis. I mean, it's only a matter of time before he
to see how he does against Sergey, because Sergey at 115 kilos is top 10, top 5 in the world at super
right-handed.
Yeah.
Damn.
And he's still supposed to be pulling Cody Merritt in Salt Lake City at some point.
September.
That's
So
not an easy match.
He's trying to stack all these matches up because we know come football season he ain't doing nothing.
Well, I mean, look, August, they're not sure who they're putting him against left-handed because I saw the flyer the other day and it didn't show him against Camille anymore.
Yeah, what happened?
I think it's going to be different.
I mean,
Ooh, JR says Bajan pulls Jablonski East vs. West 14 left hand.
that I literally just saw the flyer the other day that Ingen
Yeah,
put out.
it's
And it was different.
It's not released yet,
Oh, okay.
but it is
Yeah,
the 115 mark, and I got a jet, boys.
Let me see if I can find it. Maybe it's on YouTube.
All right, Tim. Thanks for joining us on the show. Guys, Ryan had to step out. He had power issues, but then he also had a meeting. So we're running this thing.
Hold on, let me find this.
We'll talk to you guys.
Take care,
Later,
Tim. Have a good day, buddy.
It was
all right, Nathan, it's you and I, man. What you got?
It was either on East versus West or that. Let me see. Let me check East versus West. It was either. I just saw the fucking post. It's gonna bug me now if I can't find it.
Who doesn't know how to? Andre says it sounds like you don't know how to grow a business. Who is that to? Oh, I don't know who that was. That for?
What do you mean grow a business?
I don't know.
I mean, I've grown businesses, so I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I don't know if that was because the Travis match got canceled. I have no idea what he meant by that.
Yeah, well, you know.
But I will say this though: now that we have the Challenger Series that's come and gone now, and Chance is releasing them, match by match, bit by bit, it's exciting. I like the way he's doing it. It makes this exciting for okay, because we know Jerry's pulling. Right.
He's pulling Kerdacha.
Right. I thought I had that flyer too. I'll save it on my phone.
I'm gonna find it.
Cause that's gonna be an exciting match.
I think it's gonna be a hard day for Jerry. And
so?
You have Michael Todd's pulling David Daddy Khan at 115 for the right hand thing. I think it's gonna be a hard day for Jerry. I think it's gonna be I don't know. It's not going to be easy. That's for damn sure.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. I'm just excited that, for once it's going to be on the American soil,
Yeah. Do I think that makes a difference for the Kerdacha Jerry match? Absolutely not, because Kerdacha is used to being over here and stuff like that.
So here we got that's a Challenger Series. That's not it. I'm looking for the match card. Because it was up, and all of a sudden now I can't find it now. It's like, I thought I saved it, but
here it is. Here we go. We have now this is the old one.
Well, go ahead. What you got?
So we have Brita versus Emerick Perdines, Corey West and Tobias Barong, Paul Talbot and Varej, Justin Bishop and Giannis, Doug Ehrlich and Mendigas Tarasadis, Craig Tullier, Tom Holland, Matt Mask and Lars, Paul Lynn, Rustin Babayev. The old one was Travis versus Camille, but the last one I saw didn't have Camille against Travis. Michael Todd, David Daddy Khan, Jerry Cataret, Alex Kerdacha, and then John Brezink versus Leonidas.
Okay, so with that being said, that's a hell of a fucking card right there.
And more. It says and more at the bottom. So.
Oh, don't they got the ladies? Oh no, is that 13, huh?
That's the 13th. Yeah, Barboro versus Egla.
Actually, I do know a ladies match, but I think it's either Elizabeth Mosaic, either it's on this card or it's on the 13 card.
Mm-hmm.
She just put out there, so that's big time.
Yeah. Well, this will be her second chance, and what
do you think her chances are?
I don't know who she's pulling. Let me see. Who did she's pulling?
I hope I didn't let that out of the bag.
Hold on. Here we go. Here's the new one. Brita versus Emerick, Paul Talbot, Varej, Bishop and Mendigas. I'm sorry, Doug Ehrlich and Mendigas, Bishop and Giannis, Tullier, Holland, Tobias Sprong, Corey West, Matt and Lars, Brad Grundy versus question mark, Travis Bajan versus question mark, Todd Hutchings versus Evgeny Prudnik, Elizabeth Mosick versus Alexandra. Okay. Paul and Rustum, Dave Chafee, Frank Lamparelli, Michael and David Daddy Kian, Jerry and Alex, and John Brezink and Leonidas.
Right.
Alexander.
GB wants to know what's next for Derek Smith. Good question.
I mean, you got to
I
go
don't-
back to the drawing board.
Well, yeah. Okay. So here's the thing: if you're not a predominant in one hand, can you hold that against him? You see what I'm saying?
Then don't take the match.
Was that wasn't it like a last minute match though? Or did Travis just step in and go, I'll take it?
I don't know. I know Travis had a match planned,
Right.
but I think he was supposed to pull something.
Because you don't want because I see what the question is, but what's next for Derek? But at the same time, you can't hold that against him. It was like, okay, that was more for Travis more than Derek, in my opinion. Now, if Derek would have won for some reason, then that would have just fucking broke the internet.
Yeah, 100%.
Joe Nelson says,
"Oh,
Derek,
she's pulling she's pulling Alex Toprow's wife. That's right. That's who she's pulling.
Woo.
Alexandra. I mean, Alexandra is good. She's very good.
She's beyond good.
It's definitely going to be a top roll. I'll promise you that. And she's very nasty in the setup. So I give the advantage to Alexandra.
So Dan Woolley said Derek chose left arm against Travis. Okay, cool. And like I said, even if Derek lost, I mean, I don't think that shouldn't go against him, in my opinion, because we all know in these big matches, whether it's King of the Table, King of California, I don't think East versus West, Derek has not pulled left-handed. I don't believe. So
And he's only won one match right-handed, and that was just the what's his name?
Yeah. But still, I mean,
to like play devil's advocate, the first two people they put him against were just he put him against Morozov and guys like that.
There were they put him against some killers. I'm like, dude, really? Like, damn,
Yeah. Then they gave him Medi and he beat Medi. But Medi hadn't pulled in years either, so I don't know, take that how you want.
And you're still waiting to say, okay, I know Derek has a certain way of training. Like, I'm only going to pull this match if it makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, Derek's not getting any younger either. Or, I'm not saying he's old, but, he's been around the sport for a while. So it's kind of like,
he's been on a pretty decent losing streak with both arms. I mean, if you go back to when he lost to, what's his name, like a year or so ago.
Yeah.
It has not been – he's lost more than he's won, that's for sure.
Because his last match he pulled was Matt Mass, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Matt killed him.
Right.
And then before that, he beat Medi.
Yeah.
But like I said, Medi hadn't pulled in forever. So, I mean.
So let me ask you this. Do you think – this is not like a soapbox, but do you think there's pressure? Because I'll go back to – if you guys saw the Williams post from Knuckles Up or High Five about the Arnold and where he goes, where is North American arm wrestling? He made a comment about people being scared to pull, and I kind of agree with that. And
I do too. And I also think that we're in a very chemical day and age, right? And
I like that statement. Chemical.
Yeah. We're in a very chemical day and age where to be considered elite, right? You have to be on a copious amount of everything, and a lot of
Tiger Bomb. So that's where I'm at.
A lot of these people that are considered elite can't go to a world championship or a national or something like that, because if they draw that wrong chip, by golly, welcome to your suspension.
Yep.
So I think. And I think a lot of them do it because they realize how far the gap between North America and Europe is.
Yep.
Like you can take a lot of these guys that are on copious amounts of everything and put them against elite level Europeans that compete at WAF, and they're still going to lose.
Well, okay. So, and we'll use this theory. you know, I like Barry Bonds when he played. It was exciting, you know.
Yeah, Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, like all
Yeah,
that.
it was exciting that 1998 with the home run chase. Who the fuck didn't watch that? You know, hell, you were watching golf and they broke away because Sammy was at bat or Mark McGuire was at bat. That's how big that was. Were they still cheating? Yeah, but at the same time, they were hitting home runs before they were doing all that shit.
Well, I mean, I look at Barry Bonds though. I think Barry's the worst example of it. Sosa and Mark McGuire were big human beings in general, especially McGuire. McGuire's always been a large guy. Barry Bonds was like 140 pounds when he started his baseball career and was not hitting all those home runs. And then you look at Barry walking around at 215. It's like, okay, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, just fucking admit it. Yeah, I did it, you know, but does it make you a better baseball player? Not really, because to swing a bat, you still got to have the hand-eye coordination. My point in this statement is the fact that you can take all these supplements or whatever, but if you don't know how to arm wrestle, then it's not going to matter. You know?
Yes and no. I'll agree with that to an extent. Like, I know people that years ago, let's say 2 years ago, were mid-level guys.
Yeah.
Right, mid-level. Fast forward 2 years, they discovered what steroids will do for you, and now they're top level guys. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it definitely plays a big role in things.
Right.
I know everybody's like, well, it's your choice. Yeah, it is your choice. Whatever, do your thing. But like at the same time, like understand that if you didn't take those, where would you be?
Well, it depends on the athlete. How far do you want to go in the sport? Do you want to be on that elite stage? I personally don't, because I know what I'm up against if I were to stick my toe in the water. You know, and I guess the original statement I was going to get to is that, do you think that it's so much pressure because, well, I have to win, because if I don't win, then England won't call me?
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a lot of pressure on them, and it's leading to the copious amounts of chemical usage in the United States. Because if you're doing it, if you lose a match to it, so let's use Europe as an example. If you go to Europe and you lose to you're a top 5 guy in Europe and you lose to somebody that's inside the top 5,
right?
It's not a big deal. Like you'll still get another chance. But if you're an American and you lose to one of those Europeans and you lose badly, the likelihood that you're going to receive another call is pretty slim.
And that's kind of unfair, because it's like,
but is it?
Remember, East versus West. Remember how East versus West evolved over time? You remember the first one?
Yeah, Herman Stevens stepped in against Schoolboy on like 30 seconds notice.
Right. Remember Jonathan Breida was there? Like you know, it's just kind of like it goes back, and I think Brzezinski pulled like Zoli off that day or something like that. Hell, Josh Grant was on that card. You know?
Yeah, I mean, Breida's also been dipping his toe into like powerlifting and stuff like that too. So he's had a lot of stuff going on.
No, meaning that he's never been invited back.
Well, until Florida, now he is.
Well, yeah, but do you see what I'm saying? So it's almost like, if you win, it's like, okay, if I win, I might get another shot, but I'm gonna not do nothing else but East West qualifiers until then. Or if you lose, damn, I may get one more crack at it, or I might get a crack at East or King of the Table. If I lose those, then I'm pretty much done for. It almost feels that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is that way because the level of competition in the United States isn't even a quarter of what it is in Europe, and that's just my opinion. I mean, you have your
truth to that.
You have your top level guys in weight classes. You have your Todd Hutchings, you have your John Brzezinski, you have your Devins, your Michael Todds, your Jerrys, like guys that have been around the block forever. Like those are the guys that have a name established with them to where if they lose a match, it's not the end of the world. But you have these people that win these qualifiers and then go over there and lose. Well, they don't have a name behind them to draw money or make it where people want to see them pull again. Like Cobra, right? Cobra, here's a great example. Cobra went over there, lost his match. I'll still bet you if Cobra won another match there, Cobra would get a match.
Yeah.
100%.
I love Cobra, but was that match more for his opponent because that's his home countryman in Turkey? Knowing that guy was like, oh, okay. I mean, honestly, that's just the way I see it. I mean, I see things sometimes from a different lens, but, it's just, it almost seems like it's too big.
Well, I also look at a thing somebody made the comment the other night that like we want people trash talking at press conferences, that and the other. I'm like, and I made the comment, you're going to leave out 90% of the good pullers in the United States if that's all you want, because most of them aren't going to sit across from their opponent and be like, you're a piece of shit, I hate you, yada 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 yada. They're just not going to do it. They don't have that personality. I don't have that personality. I'd rather talk on the table than sit across from you and say, yeah, I hate you and this and the other. It's like, why? Like, yeah, you want to sell pay-per-views, cool, but so you're willing to leave out the vast majority of people that would probably beat these people just to be like, well, this person talks.
Nah, Ingen got class. He got too much class to allow that stuff to happen. I mean, it's one thing if it's like a Travis smack talking. What he does is funny, but he doesn't like cross any lines. Devin will do it. Doesn't really cross any lines.
You get what I'm saying, though, right? Like,
yeah.
Like I can name 50 guys. Let's say I can name 20 people in North America right now that would win a lot of matches if they put people against them that aren't going to sit there and trash talk easily. That's guys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I mean,
that's my thing.
Some can do it, others can't. That's just the way their personality is. But and I don't want to get on this tirade.
Well, I feel like that's becoming the norm, though. If that makes sense. That's the new norm is like, oh, you have to be quote unquote disrespectful and talk shit to people in order to be considered for things. And it's like,
well, if you want that, then go to Arm Gods. Not every arm wrestling promotion needs to have all that. And I've been saying that for months, and people still crucify me for saying that. It's the new thing. No, it's you new pullers in the sport that are saying that.
Well, that's like I said too about, like the amateur, that I did last weekend. You have these guys getting up there and just being like, you've been pulling 3 months. Why are you trying to be a dick on the table? And this, like, do you really think I'm going to let you completely grab somebody like this, or they pick their elbow up and you slam them to the pad? Like, come on. Like, why?
Because they mimic what they see on TV and they think that's the thing now.
And that's the thing. Like, here's a great thing. Like, I was always taught to be a shepherd, not a sheep, right? Like, there's too many sheep now where they follow what somebody does and they're not their own person anymore. Everybody wants to be somebody else because they feel like that's where they're going to get to their end goal by being that person. Well, you're not.
And that's where I think social media is a double-edged sword, right? Because it can make you, but it can also break you.
Well, 100%. That's what I'm saying. Like, right? Like, you have these guys that are like, you're giving them wins. Why? Oh, because it's good on social media. But if you put them in a match and they just get crucified by their opponent, what does it do for their social media presence after that?
Yeah, I went to Arm Wars and got my ass handed to me by a Romanian. But in losing that, it was like, okay, I fucking left everything on that table. Blood, sweat, and tears on that damn table, And
like,
it's
here's the best example I can give of two people that didn't talk any shit to each other, went out there and had match of the year, and that was Vitaly and Dave.
Yeah.
At King of the Table. They didn't.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one, right? Where there was literal blood on the hand pegs from people squeezing that hand peg so hard. And people going out on stretchers. Like, there wasn't any shit talking. They went in there and killed each other on the table. And that was, everybody talked about that match for an entire year afterwards.
You mean, and I'll go a step further. You mean to tell me that nobody was on the edge of their seat when they saw Hermes make Levon sweat at that King of the Table? That was talked about because at one point, we never saw,
Levon challenge. Struggle. Yeah, exactly.
There was no shit talking.
The last time we saw him struggle was against Gennady at WAF, and when Gennady beat him. But then he went on his super match streak of never giving away a round. So
right. And so we're still waiting who's going to give him that. And honestly, and And I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna say it right now. I guarantee you, if it does happen, the first person that pins him, they can lose the rest of the rounds, but they're gonna remember that one pin. I guarantee you. Promise me.
Look at it this way, right? Like look at the lead up for Devin and Levon too, right? There was a lot of shit talking from both people, right?
Yeah.
But do we remember the shit talking? Nah. What is remembered? It's that one stop Devin had in the first round before Levon transitioned to that.
Oh, in round one. Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that we're not going to remember this person talk shit to this person. We're going to remember that 15 seconds.
Because everybody remember Levon's facial remarks during that match. And Devin, I think
that's my ultimate point, right? Like nobody remembers you for talking shit or being this, that, and the other. People remember you for your performance. Like even though Devin lost that match, like having that 15-second stop in the center of the table, like is gonna go down and like that's an iconic moment. Kind of like Ermi stopping Levon in this position.
Oh, like and I really thought his arm was gonna fucking snap, but still, it's just like the fact that happened. Everybody, like I was watching at my buddy's house, Andre, who's in the chat by the way, when I'm sitting in front of the TV and we're watching, Levon and Devin, and all of a sudden, it's like when Devin sat there was like this and looking at him, and Levon, all of a sudden his face went kind of like that. I was like, oh shit, and everybody stood up.
I think the best one though, it's hilarious to me. Like if you look at Gennady and Jerry, nobody remembers how the match was, and that at parts it was horse. All everybody remembers is Jerry yelling "Ingen" during that one round.
Winner, Ingen, winner. Yeah.
They remember that. Like, though that one's funny to me.
Yes, Dan Willie. 50% of the people watch Conor McGregor to see him lose. Well, yeah, man.
Floyd Mayweather too. Mayweather, same way with Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Floyd was so good at his craft and being evasive. Everybody's like, man, who's going to stop him?
You're waiting for that first loss that Floyd gets because they're going to be talking about that one loss. Because now we live in this era where I'm the one in 150-1. I'm the one. Like I'm the guy. So that next pin, if it does happen.
Like Brock, like Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania.
Yes, like Brock. Well, now it doesn't mean nothing because Roman Reigns beat him like the next year or whatever. So
but I'm saying though, like it meant like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it shocked everybody. So again, it's too much. I mean, you do need that.
You need the selling points, but at the same time, you need to understand there's a reality to things as well. Like. Right. I don't like spoon feeding people matches because it's going to sell pay-per-views.
I'll say this. I want your opinion on this. And you too, chat, since we're on this. I guarantee, and this is my opinion, I guarantee you the majority of this chat who wants all the shit talking, you do that at Ingen's event, you ain't coming back. You are not coming back.
Because you aren't the people. That's like earlier. Remember when I was saying like rule things? Like, here's the rule that everybody has to follow during a match, but here's the rule that others have to follow because of who they are.
Right.
It's the same exact thing.
Yep. You act like a fool there. You ain't coming back. You can get away with that with other organizations, but if you pull that stuff at one of the big major ones, you're not coming back. That's just the way it is, people. So
yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we can say, well, this person was able to move and I was getting fouled for it. Well, there was definitely some favoritism going on there. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But like at the same time, like, well, this person can say this, but if I say this, I'm going to get blacklisted. Well, yeah, that's because your name doesn't carry the same oomph theirs does. It's just simple as that.
Do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it, but that's just the way it is. Like Devin, Travis of the world can get away with stuff that you and I can't get away with.
100%. It's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with like, any sport. Like, Travis Kelce can get away with saying things that other people can't because he's Travis Kelce or Gronkowski or Tom Brady or Bill Belichick or pick your freaking poison, right? Pick your name. But like
the calls like LeBron can get the call that somebody else couldn't get.
Exactly, right? So It boils over to every sport, regardless of what it is or how pure it is, or how X Y use your terminology, right? So I mean, it's
No,
unfortunate, but it is what it is. There's no changing it. The only
right.
way it'll change, and you see these people saying we're trying to make new superstars. Okay, cool, but it's hard to do that when you have these people that have already done this, right? Like a Conor McGregor. Let's use Conor as an example. Like
Okay.
or Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz, they all kind of fall in that same basket. Like
Yeah.
they were brash, but they backed it up, right?
Mhm.
Now you take somebody that's trying to do that stuff after them, they're looked at as a knockoff, right? Like same way with arm wrestling. If you have somebody come out and do this, well, they're a Travis Bajan or a Devin Leonard knockoff, right? You're always going to live in that person's shadow for the foreseeable future. That's
Well,
why I
yeah.
said, you got to be a shepherd, not a sheep.
Remember, you made the you asked me about Auden Larrett and all that kind of stuff. Who was he pulling stuff? So let me ask you this: since we all live in this YouTube world of social media, and if you want to say I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, yes, I'm a co-host of this show. I got my own podcast show. I do a lot of stuff on social media. So be it. Now, when I say this, do not take this out of context, people. So the Whisperer after
He was outweighed by like 70 pounds in that match.
right, but how did he get his fame? Social media, right?
TikTok,
and,
yeah.
And by the way, congratulations. He's a proud papa. Congrats, by the way. What has he done since then?
Zero.
You see what I'm saying? So did that benefit him or did that hurt him? Because after that odd match, and granted, he was outweighed and all that kind of stuff, where's he been? Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not blaming him, but do you see what I'm saying? You want to ride the coattails of social media if you lose, because this is the double-edged sword.
Eventually, you're going to run out of social media influencers to pair somebody up against.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I want to see him go out and win something. This is just my opinion. Like, go out and win a Canadian Nationals. Go out and win a Provincials. Like, go win something. Please.
Right.
Show everybody that you're not somebody that just has to target influencers. And
to build your brand.
Yeah. You can beat legit arm wrestlers. That's my thing.
I mean, it's.
I mean, because Devin did it, like his dad did it. His dad cut his teeth taking ass kickings constantly coming up.
Yeah.
Like granted, we're talking about two entirely different worlds from when Devin started and Auden started, but like he cut his teeth in the trenches. Right?
He went the route where, hey, I like one-on-one, which is good. Not a lot of people talk about when Devin went to Waff Worlds because he took third behind Ron Bath and John Brezink. Hell, he went to the Arnold, lost to Don Underwood one year. So it's kind of like he thought, okay, if I go directly to the source and start beating these guys, that's when he started, getting the publicity that he was beating them.
Yeah, I mean, the greatest story ever is when he was number one right hand and number one left hand, and when he beat
Pushkar.
When he beat Pushkar the way he beat Pushkar, because nobody thought he had a chance. Like, to me, that's one of the most iconic matches of all time, hands down.
Yeah, certain moments in this sport, just when Ron Bath went to 2006 Worlds, pulled 4 classes and took 3 golds.
Or John beating Dennis, prime Dennis Saplenkov right-handed. That's an iconic match.
Right. Travis beating Alexei on the biggest stage at WAF when it meant something.
Yeah.
With his right hand. And at that point, Alexei couldn't be touched. And then Travis was like, oh, yeah? Watch this.
Yeah, exactly. He said, hold my beer.
Those stick in my mind rather than all the trash talking.
Exactly, right? Like, I'm more of a what can you do, not what can you say person. I guess.
Now, there are some certain lines in our sport that stick with you, like John Brzezinski with Michael Todd. Where are you going, buddy?
Exactly.
But stand up against Lupkes,
Because I'm going to bust that hand back. Yeah, exactly. Because Lupkes at that time was just, good God.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't like so much really trap.
They're iconic sentences or phrases stated within the confines of the table.
Right. But it wasn't like a press conference. I'm going to, F you, this, that. It wasn't nothing like that. There's a respect thing. And like I said, if that's what people want, you know what organization to go to for that. But don't think that every organization is going to be like that, and that's the way it has to be to sell, because you don't have to sell.
Hell, the name said like the name East versus West sells at this point.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if Devin's on the paper. Like, granted, yes, Devin moves the needle like a McGregor. Like, it's going to sell more pay-per-views when he's on the card. Like, I don't think there's any arguing that. But at the same time,
you and I are like, oh, go ahead.
But at the same time, like, Ingen still wouldn't be putting on this many events. How many times has Devin pulled on an East versus West card? 3? 4?
Has he not pulled?
I know that he has pulled. I think it's 3 or 4, right? He's pulled Gennady, he pulled Hermes, and he's pulled he pulled at 115 once.
Prudnik.
Remember?
He pulled Prudnik.
Yeah, he pulled Prudnik, he pulled Hermes, he pulled Gennady and lost, and he pulled
Levon.
That's it, 4. He's pulled 4 times.
But he also pulled on King of Table.
But I'm not using King of the Table as an example.
Okay. Got you.
What I'm saying is East versus West has had, what are we going on, 13 or 14?
Yeah, we're going on 13.
So we've had 9 cards without Devin on it that have still been, as far as we know, profitable, because typically if you're not profitable, you can't continue.
Right.
Or your sponsors are like, no, you're not coming close to meeting the metrics. So, so it's been successful without him as well.
Yeah.
Eventually those people are going to go away, and you're not going to have those people that are, brash and this, that, and the other. And you're just going to have these people that go over there and just pull.
No, I totally get that. I mean, and maybe it's because you and I, hold on, let me turn my heater off right quick. I think you and I are like where we think arm wrestling is just, we know it so well. I guarantee you, if someone tells me, hey, Robbie Burnett, Mega Mike, you ain't got to tell me that sells itself. That's just me. That's how I think, though.
Yeah, sign me up.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Those
guys are not going to sit there and talk trash because that sells itself.
Yeah, they're not going to sit there and talk shit to each other.
But it makes me wonder.
Ryan Espy and Robbie, that to me, that sold me. I was like, well, shit, yeah, let's see that match. I want to see that match.
Right. But see, maybe it's the not all, but the majority of the people who think that you need to trash talk. Maybe y'all need to watch some more arm wrestling and know these people before you think that this is the way. You don't need to do all that. They need to watch more instead of watching just the latest and greatest of what the fuck,
Go back and watch, the old school days of the Cleve Deans and, all these guys. There might have been some banter on the table, but they left it on the table.
Right. After that, let's go have a beer,
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, like the real, like, Travis started it, let's be honest. But Travis did it because it built Travis's brand. Yeah. The thing is, Travis backed that shit up every time he got on the table, let's say 95% of the time.
Yeah.
More
often times than not, he did.
Yeah, there's a few occasions where you can look back and be like, oh, okay, he talked a lot of shit and then got smoked, but it's few and far between.
He said he's even embarrassed with some of the matches he had in the past, like him and was it Semarenko, where they kind of got into it.
Yeah, they had that shoving match. Yeah.
Yeah, he said sometimes he's embarrassed when he sees that. Now his kids are at an age where it's like, damn, Dad, what the hell are you thinking? He said he's embarrassed because of that, but that's what he was, then, things like that. But that's just,
it's kind of like, you have the iconic things. You have like the Frodo Haugland smile. Like, Frodo doesn't have to talk shit to somebody to be a superstar. Right. Arm Wars, like, Frodo just starts smiling at you and you realize, crap. Now I got to see this dude smile at me. Shit. Or like Travis's yell. Like, Travis has that iconic roar after he wins a match. You know what I mean? And like,
it gets people fired up,
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things you can do besides just being a disrespectful little shit to me that, like, I guess
it's honestly though, Nathan, it's the newer, not all of them, but it's the newer people in this sport that think that that's what it is. And we're just going through a phase right now. It'll go away. It'll blow over where we can still, sit there and do that,
Mm-hmm. So how are you feeling getting ready for Jamie? Well, left-handed, you better not lose, or you have to retire. So
My goal is to this: if I can get one win on the right, I will.
you're
Yes,
going to outweigh him by like 60 pounds.
he decided to cut weight, not me.
Well, I understand that, but I'm saying you're going to outweigh him. What? You're pulling the 239 class. He's pulled the 76. You got 33 pounds.
Okay, but you're talking
No,
to
you
a
got
guy with
63 pounds. Sorry.
okay, but here's the deal, though. I'm in a no-win situation here because if I win, oh, you should have won, or if I lost, oh, you suck. You're somebody who you outweigh by X amount of pounds. So I'm in a no.
You are, but you also have an injured right as well, which doesn't help.
Right. Arthritis, bone spurs. There you go. Limits my ability to do a whole lot. So I'm trying to find out different things on what I can and can't do and trying to implement that. So
Bands.
yeah, but when I lock up with somebody, it's like phew, phew.
Well, I'm saying just do bands between now and then just to try to be as healthy as possible, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But other than that,
Look at the way Mendigus uses bands and just like mimic that and get ready for it. It's probably your best bet. Just help.
yeah. I mean, I don't really pull it. I'll grip up and just kind of just slow pull to go. Some spots feel good, other spots don't. So
Yeah.
I think I know what I can't do to where, okay, I got to make sure like that doesn't happen. To make sure
Just don't let him get in this position. If he gets in this position, it's a bad day for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. A lot of it's going to be decided on the setup.
Like, well, I think it's probably gonna be me and Vazgen reffing it. So
Yeah, I mean,
are we doing the ref script thing for y'all? Or are we doing just y'all get your own stuff?
ooh, good question. I'm gonna have to ask Greg about that.
I need to know if it's best of 3, best of 5. Are you guys getting your own setup? Are we doing
That's the 5. I can like ask Jamie, hey, are we doing the WSA setup or are we just getting our own setup?
I mean, Jamie and I are supposed to pull, I think, in North Carolina. And I
Mhm.
asked him the other day, I said, how many rounds are we doing? He goes, I don't know. I was like, oh shit, I don't know either.
Because we're pulling Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, then the tournament obviously is Saturday. So, yeah, getting our own grip because Jamie's not going to be one of those guys that's want to sit there and be a punk at the table and all that kind of. I don't think he's like that. So I don't think it'll be hard to get a grip. But at the same time,
I
who
will
knows?
say I am in full prep for him. So I hope I'm taking him serious.
You should. And I know if my wrist gets compromised that way, it's like, okay.
Well, if his wrist gets compromised that way, he's like 3 times stronger than he is this way.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So
But I got something up my sleeve that I haven't really told. I hadn't even told my teammates. So I got something up my sleeve. So
yeah, that's good. You need it. I mean, he is cutting, so he's going to lose some strength. That's inevitable, right? I mean,
but,
he's what he was pulling 209, now he's down to 76. So
right, but I don't want to get to a point where if I got a match, oh, you should have won because you're going to get that, and I know it's coming. Or if I lose, oh, you suck, you lost. Like, yeah, I know it's coming.
Hey, with me, I know I'm supposed to lose against Jamie, so if I make it interesting, it's a win for me.
Hey, if I can get one victory with this busted up hand, then yeah, it's all because I can't continue to get these fucking,
I still think you just need to. Yeah, I was gonna say you're just breaking down the ligaments and tendons with cortisone. So,
and I think the second round I got prior to this Aries 64 man, the first one back in March was the one that kind of went, ooh, maybe I should have done that.
Yeah, I follow. Yeah,
so
I've been try peptides.
Oh yeah, you did tell me about that.
Yeah, try like BPC 157 and TB 500. Just do them subcutaneous. You can do them in your stomach and they'll still work. But
right.
I would try that.
Because I mean, I'm at this point. I've been doing the it has been helping a little bit that the little wrist ball thing.
Oh, the spinny ball.
Yeah, that has been helping because it kind of just
yeah.
That does help for a little bit. So but then I'd stop and let me do some band work, and then I would try different things. And if I would have kept doing that, I would have been fine. Also, what's been helping, I got one of those El Cheapo plastic hand grippers that you get at like Big Five or Dick's Sporting Good.
Yeah,
cranking out 100 some odd reps at a time, kind of getting some work done in there, and that's kind of helped a little bit. So
see, I don't use those. I use a barbell for that.
Oh yeah.
like I'll just walk up to the barbell and make a shelf and pick up, do a deadlift, set it down, do a deadlift,
Because
set it down.
look, see, so here's it. Here's my left. Bam. Here's my right. As far as it goes. So you can see that. Okay, well, if you
I still got a dicked up tendon in here from Arizona State, not this year, but the year before.
Oh, it still bothers you?
Yeah, thanks Latvians.
Damn.
Yeah, so I've only been like I'll train anything that I have to do both arm that it has to be like bicep or tricep, like I'll do that. But anything hand wrist related, pronation, supinations, only done with the right.
So watch this. So boom, boom, right? Then right here goes. Oh, I can pronate here. I can go as far as I can go. So it is what it is, and that's why a lot of people are like going, "Hey, Jody, I'll pull you right." Well, yeah, of course you'll want to pull me right, weirdo.
Yeah.
But this has been a year in advance, and we all know it's for,
I tell everybody my left's like the stupid little brother that can't do anything.
Yeah, my right is basically the corner man for my. My right hand is the quarter man for my left. That's how I'm doing that. So.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be fun. Only got 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, something like that. I'm just trying to get through my tournament this Saturday because my anxiety level is at all-time high, and I just want to make sure it goes good. And then once that's over, I can shift gears and just really focus on the Texas
World
event.
Series, which is July
13th.
July 13th. So we have 1, 2. Yeah, we have just over 3 weeks. We have 25 days.
Yeah.
So
I'm getting ready for it. I'm excited. So
I won't be pulling at that one.
Just reffing?
Yeah, it's too much to try to ref and pull. Like you just get so worn down from reffing. So I think Jamie and I were doing our match. So we're doing the seminar for the Marine Corps. Like Don Underwood's coming out and everything. Yeah. We're gonna do it at that. That way we can focus on doing that then, and then then I can go do the tournaments and ref.
Oh, good. Yeah. I like that.
It's too hard to do both. I mean, especially standing there for 7-8 hours, reffing a tournament, and then be like, oh, now I got 5 minutes to get ready to pull. It's just like,
Then you got to flick that switch on the competition. It's like going, okay, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Just, yeah,
it's the dumbest thing. So, yeah, I'll be focused solely on. So I have a few commitments left this year, just for Greg. Are my last few. I have a few reffing commitments, and then I'm not reffing anymore the rest of the year. Taking the rest of the year off to start really training hard for events. So,
well, I will say this: after, because I don't know what your schedule is, but after Fort Worth, Texas next month, because now I don't have anything planned per se, but it's like it would be interesting to go, okay, what direction do I want to go? Because Arnold Classic qualifier. Tim said he has one in August. He'll do one in September, October in Denver, and of course Washington State in December. And I'm thinking, okay, I can target myself at 220 if I wanted to.
Yeah. I've been in talks with the High Five guys about reffing a few of their events. So if they ask me to do it, I'll do it because I've already told them that I would. But any other events that come up that aren't for them or World Series, I'm not doing. I mean, I think if Michael still has his event in July, I told him I would come up and ref for that. But other than that, I'm completely cleaning my schedule of all reffing. And like I said, I will be solely committed to hiding in the garage in my little corner that I have made up now and coming out a different animal.
Right. Sure. There's been some talks. There's just talks. There's no guarantees or anything like that. So I don't want nobody going out there saying this, that, and the other. But my name's been linked to a couple situations regarding Knuckles Up. But I don't want to even put that even out there. But it's just, like I said, it's been linked to that. We'll see. If it happens, cool. If it don't, it don't. Whatever. But
yeah, that's why I said I'm going to. So August I finish the World Series stuff, and then Greg wants me to come out to the finals in November. Cool, no worries. But then that gives me, that's it. And then if the high five guys get a hold of me, I'll do some of their events if they want me to. But other than that, like I said, I'm completely cleaning my schedule of reffing.
Yeah, there you go. Because I might fucking just say, hey, the finals for the World Series of Arm Wrestling, and then Washington State. Who knows? Because even if I cut the 220 for the Arnold qualifier, I'm gonna still be in the 239 class regardless anyway. So
yeah, you're
doesn't fucking
fine.
even matter.
Yeah. Now, are you going to lose a whole lot of strength going from 239 to 220? If you're losing fat, not really. Like you're just losing trash weight. So
Which basically I'm trash weight now. I mean, I love my beer. I need to stop that stuff. I love candy. Need to stop that stuff. If I can just eliminate the beer, soda pop here and there, and candy, and just drink more water in my life, that will get me down. Just do some more, cardio, which I don't. Yeah, that. If I can just do a lot more of that and cardio and stuff, I can get to 220. Really
so like I said, I'm focused on around 75 kilos because for me it's pretty comfortable to get there. Like I'm sitting at 183 right now. A 7-pound cut I can do in an hour to go to 76. So
right.
And I won't lose anything going from 83 to 76. I'm tired of walking. I mean, I was walking around in the mid 190s. I don't like cutting from the mid 190s down to 76. I just don't feel like I gain a whole lot from that. So I'm going to keep it low. And then when I have an event coming up where I can get at 75 kilos, that will be my focus.
Right.
So that's the ultimate goal. So probably not this year, but the following year. It won't be this year, actually. Next year, my focus is to go to USAF Nationals and qualify for Worlds.
Right.
And that's what I'm going to commit to. So next year, I honestly probably won't ref a single event.
There you go.
I'll literally just be focused on going to Nationals, and that will be my one main focus. And then cutting to 75 kilos for that, so 165.
That was going to be what my main, and then things happen, life happens, in between jobs happen, so it's just I kind of had to scrap that for 2024. But but still, it's just like that. That's still one of my main goals: get that national title, go to Worlds, and try to finish what I started in 2021.
I don't mean any disrespect to any organizations, but for me, like I want to be. If I podium at a Worlds, I want it to be WAF.
No, I get it. No, I totally get that. I don't take any, I know I get a lot of flack for it from time to time. Of course, IFA, it's like the ECW of fucking, I'm like, I get it. I understand the situation. I totally get that. I showed up, I placed, I did my job, I understand the difference between.
I understand that the 75 kilo class at WAF is one of the hardest classes there is, but
yeah,
I still want to try to qualify.
No, I totally get that, and we're just at this weird spot right now because hell, look at 1999. There were two WAFs. They split.
Yep.
World Armed Sports Federation and World Arm Wrestling Federation. There were two. So I get it. So did one title mean more than the other, even though they were both under the WAF banner? I don't know. I mean, it all depends.
Yep. And I mean, like I have a special connections to the Europeans and the Latvian team, and I would love to be at a Worlds with them. So to me, that's a goal, and I'll reach it, and I'm gonna do it without drugs. So
yeah. So there you have it. All right, brother. We've been on the show for 2 hours and 3 minutes. I hope Brian can get back on here and shut it. Because if we get off, will it still be live?
I don't think so. I think if we leave, it will go away.
Oh, okay. Cool. Everybody.
All right, buddy.
Thanks for joining us on the show. Check us out next week where we talk about, the Aries. We'll talk about the results from that.
And we'll the East vs. West coming up in July.
Yes. So we'll talk about all that kind of stuff. So everybody, y'all have a splendid day. And we'll see y'all next week. Well, I guess it does me now. Yes. So again, tournaments this weekend. My tournament, Redmond, Oregon, LOD number 4 coming up. It's going to be awesome. And Greg Sharp will be there. He'll be calling the super matches. So Mr. World Series Arm Wrestling himself will be there. And Colorado will be rocking again. The second of the Aries 64-man Super Series. I know Russ Schrader's going to be there. I know Brian Sitton's going to be there. You know, Anthony Lowe, Scott Evans, what have you. They all will be there. So that's going to be awesome. And my experience, as I went to the very first one, it's awesome. It's really awesome. So, guys, see you when I see you. Enjoy your day.